It's the Sunday service. The Supertanskiii. This could be a warning. Doobie doobie doo, doobie doo.
Hello, and welcome to the Sunday service. I nearly really badly fucked that up. Oh, great, and I've demonetized my stream in the first few seconds. Hello and welcome to the Sunday service with me, the non-Russian asset, unlike certain members of Reform, Supertanskiii and the fucking house, isn't she? I was just checking that my ting was working properly. Who have we got in here today then? Who have we got? Tommy Wiley. We've got Urine Infectinov. We've got Alistair Kerr doing a bit of modding. We've got Diz. We've got Chris C. What up? We've got Stephen Merriman. Great name. We've got Slim Pixie. Watcher. He says, in the style of Luther. I started watching Luther again recently because I had to have my fix of Idris Elba. And I've realised I've forgotten just how much Luther makes me afraid of London. And everything, really. Makes me afraid of double-decker buses. Makes me even more afraid of nerds. Makes me afraid of under the bed. Makes me afraid of lofts and cats, which is quite difficult, really, because I have a loft and a cat. But it's making me more afraid of London than a Reform voters trying to make people afraid of London. Like, oh yeah, we're patriots. We want to protect our city. Why are you saying that it's, falling into the ground then, you bunch of weirdos? Why are you saying that? If London is London's our nation's capital. I go there often. I have a very good time in London. Some of my happiest memories have happened in London. But according to a Reform voter and or MP, it's basically Baghdad, which we also fucked up. So here we go. Urine Infectinov, thank you for the super chat. Why, yeah, man, better get you some cash for Technan demonetization. I can't do it. I was going Jamaican then. My wife's gone on holiday. Jamaica. No, she went of her own accord. So. Something that is not getting anywhere near enough airtime this week is something that I'm going to talk to you about, obviously, because I'm no fan of Reform and I have no business doing those twats any favours. Let's have a little talk about Nathan Gill, shall we? Nathan Gill, following in the, footsteps of Vote Leave EU, following in the footsteps of other Reform MPs by collaborating directly with Russia. Yeah. He's pleaded guilty to bribery linked to pushing pro-Russian narratives. Now, this is, I'm putting this on the end of my mic. Very phallic, isn't it? It's like I got a knob pointing at my face. But so many of them are. Georgescu, right? Linked to JD Vance in, I believe, off the top of my head, this is Romania. Was found to be collaborating directly with the Russians. Yeah. Whenever you mention things like Russian bots, right? Or you mention things like collaboration with Russia, everyone always goes, oh, that's like a mad conspiracy theory. Coming from the people that think that COVID vaccines were bumming 5G into you. They're the people that are thinking that what's being proven to be happening is somehow a conspiracy. Anyway, the payments were traced to Oleg Voloshin probably pronounced that wrong, pro-Kremlin, and it was made in 2018 to 2019 in return for favourable statements and media output. The conspiracy count that was included in the charges, the many charges of bribery, were dropped, but sentencing is due in November 2025 for treachery, for treason, for going against the interests of your own country. Which other politicians, I wonder, are also... Oh, hello. My sound's still on. Which other politician... I'll start that again. Which other politicians do you think are playing this game? Who else has been very, very complimentary of Mother Russia? Galloway, that twat-hatted tosspot, who is basically the left wing's, he's not even left wing, I don't think, answer to Nigel Farage. What about Nigel Farage himself, who has said that Putin's the leader that he admires the most? And he has also said that Ukraine were responsible for their own invasion, or Europe was responsible for the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. Done a lot of visits to Russia. So did the Vote Leave EU lot, like Vote.eu lot, like Aaron Banks, who sued Carol Cadwallader. Suing journalists is very British, isn't it? That's not very Russian. Suing journalists. And who else? Little Tiny Tommy has made quite a few visits to Russia. What were you doing there, guys? Farage met the ambassador. Anywho, Tommy Wiley, thank you for the super chat. Lefty Tommy is taller than Righty Tommy. Just thought I'd mention it. Who's Lefty Tommy? Unless you're referring to Tommy Corbyn. The very good looking son of Jeremy Corbyn. I'm glad I got that slurp right by the camera, by the microphone. So you guys got that in whatever the HD version of sound is. So yeah, we've got Nathan Gill and the Russian collab, right? And I don't think he's the last. Especially not when you look at the astroturfing campaigns that are linked directly to promoting GB News and to Reform and their various MPs, which have been found to have all the hallmarks of Russian interference. So why would it be in Russia's best interests to promote GB News and Nigel Farage and his MPs? What is it that Russia likes about those particular MPs? The fact that they're going to destroy us financially? The fact that they're pushing BNP, National Front, whichever variation of flag fucking that we have had in the past that is being emulated now and recycled. And I saw a really important video about this where it was from a black creator, the original creator I can't name because I didn't have the link to their creation. It was shared by someone that I follow on Instagram, talking about how what's going on with the racism isn't actually radicalisation. It's just the natural racism problem that Britain has, that people of colour and black people and brown people have been talking about for years. And I do agree with that. And there's no way that I'm going to sit here as a milky white person and go, that's bollocks. But it is more organised now. The methods of organisation are more swift, more kind of well-greased. But someone asked earlier on if Tiny Tommy is actually 5 foot. I think he has dropped a few because he actually wears Cuban heels. Total wanker, but a hell of a tap dancer. Yeah. Brought a tear to my eye seeing his performance of Grease in tap form. Something to behold. Ewan Infectinov, member for 5 months. Welcome to the party, pal. Tommy can visit Russia, but not Colombia. Yeah, he was trying to get in at the same time that my friend who runs Politics Social was in Colombia, actually. That bag is annoying me. I'm just going to get rid of it. 1 second. Because the kitties cannot sit upon their perch. I'm trying to actively encourage them. Someone just asked if I've seen Nico's video on UTK. Yes, I've seen one of them, and it is exceptionally revealing. There's a fella that kind of whited up and went to the Tommy Robinson March and was talking to people about very racist topics, actually. And the racism just poured out of the white attendees that he was talking to. Just fell out of them. And it was not at all surprising to me. Because they all hate being called far right. They all hate being called racist, and they will push back on it constantly. Okay, mate, if you're not racist, why are you at a racist march? Why are you at a march with a bunch of racists if you're not a racist? If you're not racist, why are you cheering people that are being racist on stage? Why are you at a place where the speakers are literally Kremlin collaborators? Yeah, you know those far-right European MPs that are pretty much all bought by Russia? They were speakers at Tiny Tommy's rally. So if that's the case, why are you supporting the actual founder of the EDL? Is it just coincidence? Is it? No, it's not. So the creator was saying that it's always been there. It's just being brought to the fore. And I do agree with that. I think that Britain's had a racism problem for as long as any of us have been born and before. And people forget that immigrants literally made this country. Like, they were brought over from the Commonwealth after the war to literally rebuild Britain. And most of the people that live here that are not white were born here. So where do you expect them to go home to? Croydon? I suppose this is a little bit too complicated for them, isn't it? I doubt any of them could even spell remigration. Frankly. Yeah, Diz, I know he was in Panama, man. He's been spamming the WhatsApp group with tales of his travels. Yeah, he was visiting Ginger Island, my friend Graham, who runs Politics Social. The mighty Graham Hughes. And today, he's just posted a picture of himself at Labour conference with the Prime Minister of Great Britain, Mr. Keir Starmer. And also Rachel Reeves. He literally he got off a plane, went to Manchester, got to Liverpool, and went straight to conference. So, excuse me. Kirsty Hamilton, $4.99 super chat. Why, man? Kirsty says, Fred waiting for colder weather to imitate a scarf draped on the chair. To be fair, they've been out a lot today because I have been harvesting lavender like a witch. to make a potion. It's not aqua tofana. Don't get your hopes up. It is so I can make lavender oil, actually, because my nervous system desperately needs a little bit of something. I mean, it's a drop in the ocean at this point, frankly. So, oh shit, something's happening with my light. At Labour conference, Starmer has publicly and openly labelled Reform's immigration proposals, especially their proposal to revoke indefinite indefinite, I can't remember what it is. The indefinite right to remain, essentially. He's openly called it racist, which is a long time coming. But he's going to have to do a little bit better than that, because currently the Foreign Secretary, the Home Secretary, is running around acting like a Reform Home Secretary. She's gone a bit Priti Patel. So we're going to need a little bit more than just openly calling it racist, because it is basically recycled National Front. Like if you took I took a National Front flyer a couple of months ago, and I slightly changed the wording. I didn't even try to not make it look like it was very badly pasted either. I very badly copy and pasted a Reform logo onto a National Front flyer, and I put it out on Twitter and said, do you agree with this? Do you think that this is reasonable? And loads of people were like, doesn't go far enough. Yeah. I think they could go a bit harder than that. Fuck me. So, but anyway, he's pushing for Labour to unite. Horses bolted a bit there, mate. And said that the fight against Reform is existential. Only if you fail to do the things that will stop Reform, like, I don't know, implementing press reform and social media regulations, which is within your power to do, realigning with the EU, single market. You can do all of it. You're Prime Minister, mate. Why are you acting like you're an opposition MP? And then Burnham accused Labour of fostering a climate of fear by suppressing dissent in the party, because he's starting to angle himself, because there's a lot of like popular sway behind Burnham. And Attorney General Richard Hermer has warned that political populism is threatening the rule of law. No shit. Do you want to know what's happened in the last couple of weeks? We've had 2 instances of people being caught going to migrant hotels with weapons. One woman was piston stoned, the other was an ex-Marine. We've had a guy that has actually tried to set fire to a hotel. Why is this not being treated as terrorism? Is it the little colour palette? Is it? The little colour palette says no. Of course it is. This is 2-tier policing. Because you bet your arse, if this was a spate of people of colour that were not of Christian, I don't know faith, the police would be like a rat up a drain pipe, wouldn't they? They'd be straight up there. Not up the arse. But they would follow it up. So, Mr. Starmer, no drama, just Starmer, is proposing 12 new towns, which is interesting. But practically difficult to determine whether or not we could get the required infrastructure to support those towns. Partial renationalisation of rail, not quite enough. Youth mobility, all the good, good stuff, really. And there's clear anxiety in Labour at the moment, for good reason, because they've failed for over a year. Got the May elections coming up. For the first time ever, I had reform dickheads on my street today. As I was coming back from the shop, I looked to my left and there was 3 of the twats with their toothpaste coloured bloody rosettes standing there with their clipboards, not realising that you can't get in the trade entrance of flats. I don't live in a flat, but there's flats near me. And I gave the only woman that made eye contact with me the dirtiest look imaginable. They're like jackals, vultures just circling the corpses of people's faith in politics. Scumbags. Anyway. Oh God, I've been rambling on about really boring shit and you guys have been inundating me. So he's 4'1", says someone about Tommy Robinson in the chat. I think that's quite a generous height for little tiny Tommy. He needs a stepladder to put a flag on a bollard, unfortunately, on account of being so fucking tiny. Nick Page, thank you for the £5 super chat. Have Farage and Reform started to get called out? Nowhere near enough. No. Nowhere near enough. I've been doing it. My mates have been doing it. But no. Not really. I mean, not as much as you'd hope or want to happen. But yeah, it's a bit bleak at the moment because the press is still busy shagging them harder than a Reform voter or a Tommy Robinson supporter romances their own flag, that's made in China. So no, not enough. Nowhere near enough, actually. Thank you for that, Nick. Herbie Shrine. Good username. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks for what you do. I'm very worried about what's happening in the US and UK. A country run by Farage is going to be very difficult for a lot of us. A lot of people I know who do what I do are looking at their options. I myself have looked at my options because it's going to be even like a million times worse than Johnson. It's going to be just basically if Johnson was even worse. And he was a fucking disaster. It was actually like watching a sack of blancmange. Like a sack of blancmange that will shag anything. Try and run a country. And then boom, just got that disgrace forced on us. And then, what else could go wrong? COVID, Bad times. But yeah, it's unthinkable, frankly. It's actually unthinkable, Herbie, because if people thought that the first couple of years under Johnson, etc., was bad, Christ. I mean, just look at the councillors, for heaven's sake. Just look at his own MPs. We've got infighting, we've got squabbles, we've got mess, very little accountability, but yet constant platforming at eye level. And every time you ask him a question that he doesn't like, he runs away like a total clown. So It will be disastrous, but I was going to say, but the people that put him there will have to live with it. Everyone else will too. But not only is it a case of the people that put him there having to live with it, but it's the case that they will just find something else to radicalise people with, to deflect like the Tories did. Because I was sitting there for 5 years, post-Johnson, saying, why aren't people rioting? Why are the only people that are going out on the streets COVID nuts and conspiracy nuts? And then the moment that Labour got in like attachment theory, there's an interesting theory in attachment, not to bring up Bowlby too much. But Bowlby was the guy who coined the kind of different attachment styles, like anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, and he did like experiments. But it's like attachment theory, right? Because babies and young kids under the age of 5 need a secure base from which they explore the world. I am getting somewhere with this. And the moment that we got perceived calm and a steady hand on the steering wheel of the ship, all fucking hell breaks loose. Yet they didn't do it when it was so blatantly obvious. And some of that comes down to how it's reported and the fact that all the papers were basically mates with the Tories, so they're up their arsehole the whole time. And Labour just getting shit thrown at them from every direction. But only they can solve that. Only they can regulate. And people go, oh, Keir Stalin. Mate, if anything, he's just a limp dick at an orgy. He's not doing much. It's what you should be calling Stalin-esque was the Tories backtracking on the Official Secrets Act, so journalists couldn't release stories that embarrassed them. That level of control of the press. Stephen Merriman, thank you for the €5.99 super chat. Douglas Murray, spiteful, cruel, pseudo-intellectual. His racism with a smug smirk. Public school arrogance, opining on Europe being invaded in his books. Douglas Murray is a terrible, horrible xenophobe. A terrible man. I was so angry when Stephen Fry did a talk with him. He is a proper racist. Try and sue me, Douglas. I've got no money, so you're getting shit out of me. But I'm saying it as it is. That's exactly what Douglas Murray is. He is a terrifying wanker that is cashing in on this wave of right-wing populism. Because they're all in it together. It's top down. It's not bottom up. Someone should tell that to all the people that have their bottoms up for the rich lads. And then when you point this out on Twitter, only Twitter, that, billionaires are the problem. Oh, you're just jealous. Yeah, do you know how you're going to become a billionaire? If you want to become a billionaire, all you got to do is, I don't know, have a father or a mother that's a billionaire. Go to private school, learn their fucking tricks. That's how it happens. Horseproof Bacon, thank you for the £5 super chat. I once asked a girl in a bar how far she had been with a man, and she said Croydon. Very good. Very good. I hope that's not a true story. Just saw someone here put an important comment down, which is, saw a post on Facebook about 2 children who drowned in the channel while trying to cross. Hundreds laughed and the comments were disgraceful. That was Facebook, right? And I think it was 2 women, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong there and you could be right, but I thought that it was 2 women. This kind of thing is extremely common on Facebook. A lot of it's not real, but that doesn't make it okay. some of it is, and this is where I bring in the hill that I will die on, which is how this is a prime example of how people's inherent racism is being cultivated, because people have been dehumanized to the extent that people laugh at this. Real people do, but also it's pushed. Anti-migrant comments and sentiments are pushed to snowball. So it doesn't surprise me that the people who think that they're protecting our women, who were shouting at a woman at the Flagshagging Brigade parade, bollocks, get your tits out for the lads, who were talking about how racist they were and how they had weapons to attack people of colour. It doesn't surprise me that they laugh at that, because they're so tribally idiotic and they're so desperate to feel powerful because their lives are pointless, and so desperate to feel a part of something that they will fall to that level. That is Nazi shit. That is dehumanizing human beings to that level. Cats and Jam. Hi, Tan. Hi, everyone. Hello, Cats and Jam. Right. I'm just scrolling down. I don't know if I've missed anything here. Yes, I have. I've missed a few folk, actually. Sorry, my chat wasn't updating very quickly. Apologies. Stephen Merriman, these connected towns were a Tory invention. I don't know what you're referring to there. I'm trying to like comments on my own stream and it's not letting me, so I don't know what's going on here. There's something wrong with my chat. These connected towns were a Tory invention. Are you referring to new towns or? It made me think about the concept of new towns. Makes me think a lot about the Philip K. Dick novel, The Commuter, which was adapted into a really great Channel 4 program. It was like an adaptation of a train conductor who ends up at a kind of stop in between stops. The train just stops on the track and he gets out and he ends up in this new town where kind of people go to escape the horrors, It's fascinating. But that's always what little toy towns remind me of. Like Braintree Freeport reminds me of that. And there's something very eerie about them. But they're only going to work if they're affordable. Or if it's social housing. If not, there's no point building the new houses. But thank you, Stephen. I don't know what precisely you were referring to there. Stephen Merriman, they want it to be Silicon Valley concept tech. I'm not quite sure what you're referring to there, mate. Sorry, I am a little bit far behind here. So Stephen, if you just put in the chat generally what you were talking about, I'll make sure that I read it out. So just put it in the normal chat. Don't have to do a super chat. Sorry, I'm a bit behind. So, Ewan Infectinov, thank you for the £5 super chat. I'm spending my weekend at Hadrian's Wall digging a huge trench to shift Scotland away from England. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. If I could, there's a part of me that's been tempted by Scotland, actually. It's quite a cool place, Scotland. They seem to have their heads screwed on. I might end up having to exile myself to Scotland in the future. Daily Blase. Good evening, Tan. Chat. I hope everyone's very well. Quite good at my Daily Blase accent now. Not as good as I am at Princess Diana, who I fall into every now and then. Just like she fell into a bad situation with Charles. Gotta stop that. Gotta stop that shit. Eric Hassan, thank you, YA man, for the super chat. Thank you for what you do. I will watch the recording later, as need to work this evening. Working on a Sunday. There's no rest for the wicked, is there, Eric? You catch up. There's a lot of nonsense to talk about tonight. Someone just asked, was Bowlby the geese as well? I don't know. Like, bloody swans, mate. Honestly. Like, the whole thing with the swans is so ridiculous, but it shows precisely how they get to control the narrative, doesn't it? Because it was actually very difficult not to talk about it. I felt I had to, because it was so fucking ridiculous. Right, I just need to have a sip of my... I've got a herbal tea on the go. I'm like health kick tan. Technan and health kick tan. Oh, that's not very good when it's warm. It's better than it's hot. Hey Tan, your piece about propaganda the other day was fucking right on the nail head. Fantastic, says Slim Pixie. That Slim Pixie, the only Slim Pixie, all those other Slim Pixies are just pretending to be Slim Pixie. Thank you. Yeah, that took a lot of work. Mentally, emotionally. Douglas Murray is a horrible person. Wow, I'm really far behind here. Murray thrives on proving everyone else wrong. He thrives on taking loads of bank for just saying what the dickheads want him to say. He's just a mouthpiece. He's just another, twatty mouthpiece. He's not. He's a standard issue, posh, right-wing twat. That's what Douglas Murray is. Katie Hopkins said she wanted... Jesus Christ. I mean, I wouldn't mind that happening to Katie Hopkins, frankly. The world would be a better place, but she's also on the payroll of the same people that were Bob Shillman, the guy that was funding Robinson back in the day, early on, also funding Katie Hopkins. Do you want to know what he was? Part of Friends for IDF, Nice people. Right, I'm probably going to have to go onto my phone here because I'm starting to lose a bit of bandwidth. So, bear with me a second. Here is a brief interlude. I will attempt to beatbox. I need to go onto my phone to look at the comments because my system is running at capacity. So, I'm just going to get rid of that and bring up the comments on my phone. If it'll bloody let me. Right. 1 second, guys. Sorry. Okie dokie. Pig in a pokey. Right. Chat, could you let me know if I've missed anything before Colin Baker? Because it won't let me scroll up any further than that. So, Colin Baker, thank you for the super chat. In case you need a swear box. Always need a bloody swear box. 365, 24/7. There's a lot to swear about. Thank you for the gentle hugs and solidarity, Wendy Simpson. Appreciate it very much. Alistair Kerr, Supertanskiii, you're more than welcome to live in Scotland, my friend. Well, there might come a time when I'll need exile in Scotland. Only for old gamers. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for everything. Keep going. Your channel is powerful and essential. As a black man, it's scary times for myself and my family right now, so a voice like yours is always appreciated. Much love. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. I currently despise and have always despised racism. I grew up in the poor bit of a village There was a massive disparity between rich and poor in the village that I grew up in. There was us in the little council houses, and there was like a private school. And my dad came from East London, and my mum was born and bred in the village that I grew up in. I went to a school that had one black female student, and the school opposite had a number of black students, but not many. And people from like all different parts of the world go there because it was a private school, so it had a lot of foreign students. And I've called out racism since I was a kid. My dad had friends that were black, but would use the D word, you know, to describe black people. And I even young, I would call him out for it. It's a choice that people make. It's a conscious choice to be like that. Because I had no point of reference. I had no, you know, I didn't have any people around me that were of different races. But I knew it was wrong. People know deep down that it's wrong. There's no justification for it. Like whatsoever. There's no justification. Someone just said, I'd love to see you debate Katie Haitkins. I would sooner shove a melon up my own arse than even give her airtime. What I'd like to do is take it to the streets with her. But no, thank you very much for your kind words there, sir. I appreciate it very much. And it's the least that I can do. And it's the least that anyone can do, frankly. Like, there's no excuse for people not calling this out. No excuse whatsoever. I've taken my fair share of slaps in real life for calling it out too. And I don't say that because I want a medal. I say it because it's the least people can do. Right, my camera's shifted slightly. That's better. My cousin believes the Swan nonsense. There was someone that was sharing pictures of the situation and videos, right? It was the same video. I think there was one instance like a while ago where someone, nobody knows what nationality they were. Ah! Jesus Christ, my phone fell and it scared the shit out of me. I'm just about to see that happen in real time on my own screen. Oh my God, what an idiot. I could have, I thought that, what a twat. But no, there was one video of this happening and that was it. Like that was literally it. Like ages ago. Someone ate a swan, I think. And they're all like, no, this is really happening. It's like, fuck, eat that thick. And people, even in my YouTube video comments, a charity was forced to deny this shit. It's the stupidest thing. Tansky going for the broom handle. Oh my God, don't. That was genuinely so scary. That was one of the scariest moments that I've ever had on a live stream. Like, I should keep it beside me, but I haven't. No broom handles tonight. I did have some topics of conversation that I was trying to work through earlier on. But the Swan lie happened around like really early into the Tory government. And then it was repeated around the time of Brexit when they were trying to make people ultra racist. Have I actually worked through my talking points tonight? Oh, yes, that's what I wanted to talk to you about tonight. Is the I've made that too. Please excuse me, I'm fiddling now. I'm being a fiddler. The digital ID cards. Can't believe I've left it this long to talk about the digital ID cards, but as we all know, Keir Starmer has been talking about how he's going to, without having dealt with the burgeoning rise of conspiracy theories and conspiracy theorist believers that have been imported from America, that idiocy is spreading faster than COVID right now. He's decided to introduce this on a group of people that genuinely think that Bill Gates was trying to put microchips in people via the COVID vaccination. That's the level of thick that we're talking about here. I wonder how that's going to go down, Keir Starmer, when you're doing absolutely nothing about the social media sites that are spreading this bollocks, because conspiracy, virtually most conspiracies, directly funnel into the far-right radicalisation pipeline. How do you think that's going to go? How do you think that people are going to respond to that? Do you think it's going to be positive? Do you think that people are going to go, yeah, I mean, that's a really good idea? Or do you think that they're going to, as I have seen happen, become even more ridiculous and think that this is some kind of like method of control? Do you think that's going to happen? Because it's already fucking happening. Already. Like, I don't have any issue with like a digital ID, right? But I saw someone that I know on Facebook. He's got a lot of opinions on things and he's getting a bit conspiracy-ish. He's wise enough to know that the Flagshaggers are idiots. But he was getting really hysterical about this. And he was like, oh, we need to be more like France and rise up against this. And I was like, France have this, mate. Loads of European countries have this. Loads of them. Like, the list is long, like Spain, like loads of other places. And then he was like, oh, you want to move to France? Because I'd love to. If someone offered me a place in France, I'd rip their hand off, you know. I'd be like, yes. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, what? Like, essentially suggesting that I'm not good at like resistance, right? I was like, mate, I pick my battles. Like, do you know how much really fucked up shit's going on? And people are too busy thinking that Keir Starmer, of all people, born to be mild, is inflicting some kind of like liberty-sucking penalties on them when the guy can't even organise a blowy at a brothel. You think that's happening, right? But you're not looking into people like Peter Thiel. My concern about this is practical, in the sense that it's not going to work. To coin a crude image, it's going to be like the proverbial chucking a cocktail sausage down a tunnel, you know. It's not going to do much. And also, my only other concern is whether Palantir get their hands on it. Because if Peter Thiel gets his hands on this, we are fucked. It's bad enough that he's already deep up our NHS. Knuckles deep. So, I need to catch up with the chat. Darren de Star. Oh, thank you very much for the super chat. For this buy Tansky a cocktail and the Cats of Fish Fund. Me and Fred and Edie are very thankful for that. Because we all want a cocktail and the kitties always want to eat. So, there's people catching up talking about the digital ID. But thank you so much for that, Darian de Star, apologies. Ivan Ambrose is in the house. Hello, Ivan. I'm not good again. As I've got older, I don't compare myself as much. However, it still happens at times, and it has this evening on social media. Proof that I'm not worthy of being with a man and sharing my life with him. I don't know what's happened, mate, but that's nonsense. Do you know what that is? That's the anxiety, and that's the depression, or that is the mental health talking, not you. And I'll tell you what, it's a fucking liar. Anxiety and depression are liars, and that's the kind of seed that they put into your head, and they do that to enhance their survival. And I'm not minimizing how you feel, but what you think isn't necessarily always true, and that's a thought that is not true. Every person, unless you're Nigel Farage, is worthy of love, or unless you're Tommy Robinson, or, Darren Grimes, So one thing that hasn't always worked, but made it very slightly easier to live with having such thoughts myself in the past, has been assigning my anxiety thoughts and my low mood thoughts the voice of Boris Johnson. Because if I'm sitting there and I'm thinking I'm in public and I'm having a panic attack and I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to die. If it's like, you're going to die, or it's like Nigel Farage saying something, in his voice, I'm like, fuck off. Takes the edge off. But don't believe the bullshit, Ivan. That's bullshit. All right? Good. David McGuinness, thank you for the super chat. Digital ID is a no-go because of the Good Friday Agreement. I don't see... unless I've overlooked something there, I don't understand what that would have to do with the Good Friday Agreement. Possibly miss something there. It will store sensitive data, ID, residency, personal details in phones and possibly central servers. I mean, both of those are not proven to be the most secure, and this is coming at a time when we have, fuck's sake, it's coming at a time when we keep having cyber attacks hitting us. So, right, I need to move this, sorry. I think that's a bit better. Yeah, it's coming at a time when we're having cyber attacks hitting us, and it's coming at a time when things aren't proving to be massively secure. So I don't know how I feel about it in that sense. And knowing that Palantir will have its eye on this contract, that's my fear. People are talking about mass surveillance. They can already track our phones immediately. Like MI5, if they wanted to, could track our phones now. Like, that they're already doing it. Like, they've already got the ability to do it. So it's kind of like, it's weirdly suspicious to think that we're not already being surveilled. Because we are already being surveilled. So, but yeah. Palantir already works with police surveillance in the UK, and it's already in our NHS, just like it is in America. And these are the people that Starmer is appeasing. Vance is funded heavily by Teal. He's like Teal's golden boy, because Teal's thinking ahead to when Trump croaks. And the possibility of JD Vance being president of the United States of America, which is absolutely ridiculous. But doctors are fearing, like, already data breaches and issues with Palantir and the NHS. And the problem is very neatly laid out in 2073 by Asif Kapadia. My friend Asif, I love him dearly. He's an awesome man. And he has already laid out just how dangerous this is. So I implore you all to watch 2073 by Asif Kapadia, but also to go gently, because it is a terrifying film, frankly. Absolutely terrifying. But yeah, Peter Thiel is a dangerous, dangerous individual. And he's the person that people should be really scared of. But instead, they're making up these mad stories thinking that Keir Starmer's the one in control. The people that are in control are the tech billionaires. They're the people that are actually running most of the world currently. So they're the people to look out for. Plus, it won't do what Keir Starmer wants it to do. Plus, he's going to get it in the ear for it being like a kind of like Tony Blair-esque idea that's completely unoriginal. So, there we go. I don't think it's necessary that people are shitting themselves about having something to hide. I think it's more a case of people being, concerned that, like, the people that are rational, that are concerned about it, probably don't want to be looked at, So I'm trying to, I'm just, right, hang on a minute. I just need to go through my super chat list, because I've got some, I worry that I've missed some things here. So, Veg Pie, thank you for the super chat. Oh my God, my old school friend who lives in Manchester, not USA, believed in the Bill Gates nanobots 5G conspiracy. She has a master's degree. Terrifying. This is how conspiracy gets you. This is how it gets you. Like, even people that you think are clever fall for it, because the way that the algorithm primes people, and that's where they're getting this from, the internet, is to just go deeper and deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole. So that is actually terrifying. Rev D Cafe, sorry. Thank you, Tan. I always say depression and anxiety can be just as much delusional thinking as mania. Mental health professionals miss that. Depression lies. Precisely. And when you get into a situation where you're thinking about, or you're getting that low, your actual scope of mental ability narrows really tightly. Like, scarily. So you will not be in a frame of mind to make any form of conscious choice, which is why that is such a scary frame of mind to be in, and it's important to intervene before it gets to that point. So, hi Tan, sorry I'm late, says Sarah Davis. You're going on the register, Sarah. Red dot against your name, which is actually a heart, because I forgive you. T, thank you very much for the super chat. And Jason von Hartmann, welcome to the super chat. Is that a Dutch name, or is that a German name, or is it neither? Bilal Galani, why is there so much hate against Muslims from the far right? Because it is their scapegoat. Because that those people are scapegoated by the far right. There's someone to hate. And it kind of started off and then petered out slightly after 9/11. And then it kind of calmed down a little bit. And then the right wing brought it back with a vengeance. But the tensions were still there. The tensions were still there. And then they were exploited. Because they're an easy someone to hate. For people that it's the kind of, like, in many ways, I guess the Muslim faith is not necessarily native to Britain. So they're an easy outsider. Unfamiliar customs, culturally different traditions, and many are of a different skin colour. Now, you could say the same thing in terms of traditions not being quite, in fitting with British culture about Hasidic Jews or Jewish people, right? There's some lovely customs associated with both. I'm in no way religious, but I love the custom in the Jewish religion of covering a mirror when you're grieving, so you're not bothered by your own appearance. The Muslim family that lives down the street from me have always been the loveliest people ever. They will share food with me when they have their festivals. I will take them like a little candle or something to kind of like, just to kind of show my appreciation back to them. They bring me cake. They're good people. It's just a target to hate. Simple as that. And it's one that's stuck, so they're running with it. And it is despicable. Absolutely despicable. Bicycle Day, the 19th of April. I'm currently taking part in a medical study to see if pregabalin can help with my anxiety, Chrissy. It's already prescribed for anxiety. That's actually like a nerve-style painkiller for nerve pain. I was prescribed that after I was... What's it called? After I had a shingles issue. Ivan Ambrose, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Tan, I'm sorry, I was talking medically rather than politically previously. Due to my mental health episode this evening, I haven't taken enough information. I just wanted to ask for your opinion on digital ID. I've just been speaking about that, Ivan. Not particularly fussed by it, unless my concern is who the data will go to and the practicalities of it, as opposed to the conspiracy aspect. And I know you were talking medically. I was just relating it to how one of the things, like, obviously people don't always want suggestions, but one of the things that I used to do was assigning the voice of the anxiety in my internal monologue to the voice of someone I hate to help disbelieve it. So that was the political link. Everything always comes back to politics. It's actually a heart because I forgive you. I'm glad that you appreciated that. But no, I hope you're doing all right, Ivan. You deserve to feel better. Pregabalin, I'm not a doctor. I can't make any form of judgment. Everything gets abused by drug addicts, though, Chris. Oh, God, yeah, this is a very important point, actually. Stephen Merriman says Tony Blair's son been given a 275 million, was that Ewan, for ID development. Blair backed by billionaire Ellison, who funded Oracle. There is against the plan. And there's also talk of bloody Tony Blair being dug up to, for the love of God, be ambassador to America, isn't there, at the moment? So what a disaster. It's like from bad to worse, really. Oh no, not ambassador to America. I think he was floating Mandelson's job, but then there was also the Gaza representative, wasn't there? Fuck's sake, the guy who invaded Iraq. Don't think that's a good idea. But no, thank you very much, Stephen Merriman. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm just seeing if I've missed anything here because I've been a bit distracted. I don't think so. Run the Gaza committee. But yeah. Okay, well, I'm approaching the end now. Not in a morbid way, but in the sense that I'm I think I've covered most of my topics tonight. I've not been particularly ranty tonight. But as ever, before I sign off, and I need to go check on my broth because I am currently making a bone broth. A rare one because I've not been feeling very well lately, so I thought I'd make it to look after myself. If you've got any questions for me, speak now or forever hold your peace, and I will try and get to them before I bugger off and go and check that I haven't burnt the house down. So hit me with your rhythm stick. I'm not going yet, Diz or Chris. Tam, what's your opinion on the Online Safety Act, Ethan 07? Don't know why I said it like that. It was a stupid way to say it, wasn't it? I think that we need it. We need a safety act. We need one that goes harder and faster. And we needed social media regulation in that. Otherwise, it's toothless and pointless because they just won't do it. Sarah Davis, how are the cats? Happy. They've been outside today whilst I've been trimming my bush. Stop it. Lavender bush. And they're now sleepy and having a little kip. Do you think Margaret Thatcher is hot? Poet laureate. Are you mad? Atheist bastard here. That's not a question, but it's good to know, Double Dragon. Who was the last royal to eat swan? I think it was Queen Victoria. She ate it with her bare hands. And then she said, Diana, won't you eat some swan? And Diana's like, no, I don't think so, Elizabeth. You wrote in the chat about the 12 towns, Stephen. I was wondering what you were... I think that's what you were referring to. And I think I was covering it as you were chatting about it, Stephen. So I'm sorry, man. I was a bit behind on keeping up with the old chat tonight. But it's, it's been a bit of a tricky one. I've been a bit hyper. I've been a bit ADHD this evening. I feel like I've been ultra ADHD. A little bit too much. Possibly. How does it feel when you notice ADHD meds working, says Zephyr? It's entirely subjective, but I don't take them anymore. Just sporadically. So, driving in Luton, is it a swan bone broth? Obviously. Yeah, I've got about 7 on the boil currently. Supertanskiii, what font do you use on your thumbnails? It's something I do in CapCut, Diz, and it's called Minimal. That's on my general video thumbnails. But for the ones that I just mock up, like really low budget for my live streams, they tend to be I think it's Poster on Instagram, because I'll just like cobble it together on Instagram. Excellent live, Supertanskiii, says Alistair Kerr. That is not a question, but I will take that. Thank you. Bilal Galani, do you think Farage will become Prime Minister in the future? Great spelling of it. Over my dead body, mate. Probably will be. Unifectinov, thank you very much for the super. I'm 3D printing Ocarina of Time at the moment. Bloody 3D printer has been going all day. You're 3D printing what? You're printing what? I don't understand. Do you mean actual ocarinas? I wish I had a 3D printer. You make all manner of things. Slim Pixie, Tam, what herbal tea brand was it? Yogi is great. Choco all the way. I'm drinking the Aldi. I'm sniffing my lavender. It's been very calming. It's the sleepy tea from Aldi. And it's cold. But yeah, Yogi is a good choice. It's a very good choice. You need to talk about what you're doing with that ocarina of time, you need to specify for me, please, in the chat, Yuri. I think you need to have some data protection acts before you have IDs like the rest of Europe. Yeah, and also Europe are stronger against the tech giants, and we're isolated and not at all strong against the tech giants because of fucking Brexit. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's like all the reasons, all the bad things that are happening can be linked back to Brexit. Ridiculous. Ivan, thank you for the super. I really think strongly that virtual delegates should be permitted at Labour conferences. It's 2025, but so many Labour Party members, including me, are missing out. Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree. And I think it's just one of many areas in which Labour are really failing on the tech front. They fail persistently on the tech front. But this is kind of pretty much inexcusable in this modern era, I think. So yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a massive oversight on their part, but all of their tech approach is a massive oversight. There was a creator on Instagram the other day that I follow. I think her name's Justin up north, and she was talking about how she's an independent content creator, and she was talking about how Labour, and they did this to me around 2021-22. Someone from Labour approached her and asked her to basically promote Keir Starmer's, I think it was possibly the digital ID cards, for free. Not pay her, which is pennies, really. And she told them to piss off. And I'm like, well, good for you, mate. Like, you're called Labour. Making content, doing it as a job is a job, you know. And the lady that does the chicken shop, not my cup of tea, really. But she was talking the other day about how this is actually a job. It's not a bloody hobby. Some people do it less, responsibly than others, but it's still. Urine Infectinov. I've designed working ocarinas of time and now printing. That's bloody amazing. Absolutely amazing. That's another level. Darren De Star, not a question, but I really like your sweater. Thank you. It's a bit big on the arm. It makes me, it's gaping slightly. Nearly got a show then. It's like a little bit bigger than, it's a bit loosey-goosey. I should have got it in a smaller size, but I like the clashing colours. It makes me happy. But 3D printers are well expensive, man. I used to have an ocarina. It was one of the very few instruments that I had. I had a clay one and it was amazing. And it got broken. Ocarinas are like a kind of instrument with holes in it that you blow through. And it's, and it's from the best game of all time, the Ocarina of Time. So it's an instrument, a wind, I think it would be called, a wind instrument. Ivan, you're more than welcome, my friend. You're always welcome here. This is a safe and happy place for you. So you're always welcome in my community. Don't you worry about that. What's Pooch Boutique Crafts? Is that your thing, Chris? Oh, everyone give Chris a little follow on Etsy. He makes really cute things. Did you break it using it as a bong? I wish. No, sadly not. Wind instrument. It is in all Legend of Zelda games, but only one is called the Ocarina of Time. So, anyway, I'm going to bugger off. So speak now or forever hold your peace. And thank you for tuning in tonight for what was a slightly more mentally scattered version of the Sunday service than usual. I was a little bit all over the place this evening. I've been very distracted today. Do you get asked to do commentary on TV much? No, not anymore. I did, but I turned it down a lot because I'm not comfortable in that environment. I prefer to do things of my own accord. So I like it here. It is a warm and friendly place, says Veg Pie. Thank you for that. Epona, oh my god, I will get sucked into Ocarina of Time chat. I still feel guilty about the fact that I shot Epona in the head with my arrows. Like, that will always bother me, but she's not, I don't feel good about it. But no, thank you very much. If you wouldn't mind giving the live stream a little like on your way out, I'd like to thank Diz and Alistair Kerr and Chris C for moderating the madness this evening. And I too am playing the Ocarina of Time again, and Majora's Mask simultaneously, just to fry my own brain. But until next time, good luck if you've got a family member that's falling for this shit. If you have, to annoy them and or try to inform them, send them some of my videos, because they will either learn something or they will fucking hate it. Either way, it's the best that we can hope for, isn't it? Anyway, until next time, much love, stay safe, don't shag any flags. Now I'm going to try and play the outro, which I always fuck up.
It's the Sunday service with Supertanskiii. This could be a warning